Here's something worth considering. Would the Earth be better without us? Let's sit with that.
It's a question that sort of surfaces quietly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Usually when the noise of the day dies down. Or, maybe you're reading the news.
Oh, especially then. You see a headline about plastic in the ocean, or you watch footage of forests burning, and that thought it just forms in the back of your mind.
Exactly. It's this quiet suspicion that maybe the planet would just be fine. Maybe even better if we simply weren't here.
If we just vanished. And I mean, when you first think about it, the answer seems painfully obvious.
It does. Because you immediately think about the impact. If humans disappeared tomorrow, what stops?
Everything. The emissions, the deforestation, the industrial waste being pumped into rivers, the sound, the relentless noise of our cities would just cease.
It's a powerful image. The silence.
I can picture it so vividly. It's that whole world without us idea. You just strip away all the drama and you're left with entropy. I mean, within decades, the roads would start to crack. The buildings we think are so permanent, they're just waiting to fall apart.
They are. Without constant maintenance, water gets in, the rebar rusts. And nature. Well, nature moves back in with astonishing speed.
You'd have vines creeping through skyscrapers, right? Trees rooting down through concrete.
Reclaiming the footprint of the city. There's that one image that always sticks with me.
Wolves on the highway.
Wolves where highways once ran. Yeah.
It's haunting. But the hard truth is, the Earth wouldn't mourn us. It would just continue. It would stabilize. So the verdict feels clear, right? Yes, the Earth would be better.
But is better the right word?
Okay, I think I know where you're going with this. We have this very human idea of kindness or balance that we project onto nature.
You do. We imagine this sort of static Garden of Eden, a peaceful harmony.
But that's not what the geological record shows, is it?
Not at all. That's a human invention. I mean, this planet has survived ice ages, asteroid impacts, mass extinctions, things that make our impact look, well, significant but not unique.
Nature isn't about peace. It's about expansion, competition.
And adaptation.
Yeah.
And sometimes violence.
Yeah.
We aren't the first things to completely change the place.
Right, like the Great Oxidation Event. I mean, that was arguably the biggest pollution event in history, and it wasn't us.
No, it wasn't. And that's such a crucial piece of context. You have these tiny early life forms, cyanobacteria, and they figure out how to photosynthesize. They start pumping out this waste product.
Oxygen. And for everything else alive at the time, oxygen was toxic.
It was pure poison. It reshaped the entire atmosphere and wiped out a massive number of species that couldn't adapt. It was a global catastrophe for the life that existed then.
But it also paved the way for us, for a complex life.
Precisely. Life fundamentally changes its environment. That's what life does. It consumes, it excretes, it alters the chemistry of the world around it.
So if we look at it that way, the question isn't really if we're disruptive. Disruption is part of the deal.
It is. So the deeper question isn't about disruption. It's about whether we belong here at all. Are we unnatural?
And that's the feeling, isn't it? We talk about ourselves as if we're separate from nature, as if we just, crash landed here from somewhere else.
It's a persistent illusion. I'm going to go out into nature.
Yeah, as if this studio isn't nature. But biologically, that's just false.
Completely. We evolved here. We came from the soil, from the water. Our bones are made of the same calcium as the cliffs.
So physically, we're as much a part of this system as a badger or a pine tree, which brings up this really interesting philosophical point about architecture.
The comparative architecture idea, yes.
Exactly. If we accept we're natural, then what we build must be natural too. So if ants build massive colonies,
and beavers build dams that flood entire valleys, completely changing the ecosystem.
then are skyscrapers fundamentally different, or are they just scaled up?
Is a city just the most complex termite mound ever built by a primate? It's a challenging thought.
It is, because it feels different. A beaver dam feels like it fits in a way that, say, a strip mall doesn't. And I don't think that's just about aesthetics.
No, I agree. And I think that discomfort comes from one thing, really. Speed.
The velocity of change.
Yes. Other species reshape their environments, but they do it over millennia. The ecosystem has time to absorb and adapt. Evolution works, but it's slow.
And we reshape continents in decades. We level a mountain in a year. It's like we're operating on a totally different timescale.
It's geological impact at biological speed. The system can't catch up.
Right.
But there's something else we have that makes us distinct, something more profound than our speed.
Awareness.
Awareness. That's the pivot.
Because a beaver knows how to build a dam, but we assume it's not having an existential crisis about the downstream trout population.
As far as we know, yeah. The Earth generally doesn't reflect on itself. A forest doesn't worry about balance. An ocean doesn't question its own sustainability. It just is.
But we worry, we question, we have this conversation.
And that is a profound realization. Through us, the planet has developed the ability to think about its own future.
That's a heavy thought, that we're not just residents, we are the planet's self-awareness.
Yes. It's strange, isn't it? After billions of years of blind trial and error, matter has arranged itself into something, us, that can look at the world and ask, am I causing harm?
What is my duty to this place?
Exactly. So if we go back to that first question,
Yeah.
if we disappear, the Earth might stabilize physically. The air gets cleaner, the water gets clearer. But it would lose something incredibly rare.
It would lose its mind.
The lights would go out in the only room where the house is being thought about. It would go back to being a blind, churning system of eating and dying.
Okay, but is that enough? Just being aware? Because, I mean, sometimes it feels like we're just watching the problem happen.
You're right. Awareness alone is not enough. In fact, consciousness that only observes destruction without changing behavior, well, that's a tragedy.
That's worse than being a beaver. A beaver doesn't know any better. We do.
It's like watching a car crash in slow motion, knowing you're the driver and just keeping your hands on the wheel.
And that leads to that cynical argument you always hear, that humanity is a virus.
The Agent Smith argument.
Yeah.
Yes. Human beings are a disease, a cancer of this planet.
It's seductive, that idea. And you look at the growth charts and you can see why it's compelling.
It's compelling, but it's fundamentally flawed. Because a virus doesn't reflect. A virus doesn't pause to consider its host. It just replicates.
It can't choose.
It can't choose. We can. That's the difference. We can look at a trajectory and decide to change it. We haven't done it very well yet, but the capacity is there.
So we have to remember that nature's aim isn't our comfort.
Not at all. Nature aims for continuation. That idea of a permanent, happy balance is a myth. It's always a cycle. Predator and prey, growth and collapse.
So where do we fit? If the Earth doesn't actually need us, why are we here?
Maybe the Earth doesn't need us, but it's important to remember. It produced us.
Right. We're not an invasion.
We're not a mistake. I don't think we're a punishment either. I think we're a possibility.
A possibility for what?
A possibility for conscious stewardship or conscious destruction. Both paths exist in us. We're the only species that can choose to destroy an ecosystem, but we're also the only one that can choose to restore one.
So it comes down to how we see the world.
Yeah.
As a resource to be used up or as a relationship to be maintained.
That's it. Do we act like the cyanobacteria, just pumping at our waist until we choke? Or do we act with an awareness of the consequences?
It's so much easier to romanticize that Earth without us picture. The quiet forests, the clean rivers.
It's an easy escape. There's a peacefulness to it that appeals to the part of us that's just tired of the guilt and the noise. No more complex decisions.
But it's harder and maybe more meaningful to imagine a world where humans stay and choose differently.
That is the harder visualization. Not going back to the Stone Age, but reaching a kind of maturity.
So the core question really shifts. It's not, should we leave?
It's if we are the Earth becoming aware of itself, how would awareness behave?
How would you act? With urgency, with care.
With humility. You wouldn't poison your own water. You'd realize there is no a way to throw things to.
You'd recognize you are the system.
Yes. The Earth doesn't need saving. It will endure. It will survive us. The real question is whether we can endure in a way that's aligned with the awareness we've been given.
It puts the responsibility right back on our shoulders, saying the world's better off without us it's a cop-out.
It's the ultimate cop-out. The solution has to come from our presence, not our absence.
We have to do the work of reconciling our existence with the planet's limits. We have to use that ability to pause.
To stop, to think, and then to choose.
So instead of asking, would the Earth be better without us?
Maybe we ask, how can we be better while we're here?
And sit with that. This has been The Pause.